Welcome to your new position in our restaurant. We're excited that you're working with us. We take pride in our work and can't wait to show you around, because we think you'll be a great fit. Restaurant jobs are never boring. They may be challenging, but unlike school or office jobs, you'll never be bored watching the minutes tick by. Once that rush of guests hits, 3 or 4 hours might pass in the blink of an eye. Restaurants are alive, with great people who know how to laugh and enjoy life. Don't hesitate to introduce yourself to all of your new coworkers. We work as a team here and are happy to have you on board. Thanks in advance for all your hard work and great attitude. We want you to be successful and feel comfortable in your new position. Let's cover some of the basics that all employees should know. As a host, busser, or server, you work on the dining room floor with customers. This is known as the front of house, and you are a front of house employee. The dishwasher, cooks, and chefs work in the back of house. They are back of house employees. Even though there's a division of labor between the front of house and back of house, we all work together towards one common goal: guest satisfaction. Teamwork between the front and the back is essential to achieving this goal. To work as a team, be courteous to all employees in the restaurant. Learn people's names and say hi to everyone as you see them at the beginning of your shift. A little polite greeting makes teamwork easier. Arrive for work looking your best and ready to go. This means looking clean and tidy. Always eat before coming to work to maintain high energy throughout your shift. Bring a couple of snacks with you as well, because restaurant work can be tiring and you need to stay energized. Safety is a top priority in our restaurant. Restaurants can be dangerous if employees are careless, but if we all act in a safe way, the chances of accidents are greatly reduced. Wet floors are a common hazard in a restaurant. If the floor gets wet in the front of house, get a wet floor sign right away to keep guests safe. If at all possible, have a coworker guard the wet spot and alert people to watch their step while you get the sign. People often move quickly through a restaurant carrying glass and ceramic dishes. If you are passing behind or near a coworker in a restaurant, announce yourself by saying "behind you" or "beside you." If someone announces "behind" or "beside" to you, respond by saying "heard." This will cut down on bumps that could send something crashing to the ground. Walking quickly is fine, but running is unsafe. Never run in the restaurant. Cleanliness is a part of safety. Even slight sanitation violations that wouldn't impact most people can cause life-threatening illnesses to young children, the elderly, or people with weaker immune systems. Remember that our restaurant should be safe and welcoming to all, regardless of age or health condition. Wash your hands frequently. Always wash hands thoroughly after using the bathroom or taking a break. Washing your hands will help keep you and our guests healthy. Cough or sneeze into your arm and away from guests and food. Gum chewing is not allowed. Never eat where food is prepared. Eat snacks or meals in designated areas only. Wet or damp rags should never be left on the countertop or on top of a spray bottle. Keep wet rags in a bucket filled with sanitation water. Leaving wet rags on any surface is against health code and one of the most common citations that restaurants receive. Other common front-of-house citations involve substandard personal hygiene, overflowing trash bins, failure to wash hands when appropriate, and placing personal belongings on work counters or other improper places. Health inspectors can walk into the restaurant at any time. Always be prepared. Restaurant jobs are unlike a typical 9-to-5 job. You may stay later or leave earlier than expected depending on the volume of guests that we receive during your shift. A restaurant only earns between 3 and 6% profit. That means for every dollar in sales, the restaurant keeps between 3 and 6 cents. The rest of the money made goes to employee wages, food costs, and utilities. Because of that tight budget, be careful not to break glasses and dishes. Taking food from the walk-in can endanger the restaurant's profitability and is strictly prohibited. Finally, stay busy throughout your shift. Even if we're slow, find a way to keep the restaurant clean and ready for the next wave of guests. This could mean folding napkins, polishing silverware, finding something to wipe down or dust, or stocking something like ice or plates. Or ask your manager what they would like help with. We take pride in our restaurant and our guests notice. Help us keep it running smoothly by arriving ready to work, being courteous and kind to your coworkers, being safe and sanitary, and staying busy through your shift. Thank you, and have a great shift. Food is the reason a guest picks out a restaurant, but great customer service is why a guest comes back. In fact, some argue that good service in a restaurant is more important than good food. Grocery stores sell food, after all, and it's cheaper there, but restaurants can sell service. What is service? Service simply means doing things to make the guest feel valued. We want all our guests to feel important because they are. They are the reason we can keep opening our doors every day. The most critical part of service in the hospitality industry is simple. Smile. Smiling lets the guests know that you're happy to see them in the restaurant. A smile is part of the uniform. Also, make eye contact when speaking with a guest. This will assure them that you are engaged with what they are saying. You can also achieve great customer service by putting yourself in the guest's shoes. What would you want if you were spending money to eat out? How would you want the host or hostess to greet you? How would you want the server to wait on you? How clean would you like your table to be when you sat down? A restaurant runs as a team. Guest satisfaction is everyone's responsibility. If a guest is looking for the bathroom, show them where it is. If a guest needs their server, first ask if you can help, and if not, find their server. If a guest needs a refill, don't hesitate to give them one. Kids are often ignored in a restaurant. Talk to kids. Their parents will be proud to see them interacting with others. The guest is our top priority, so socializing with coworkers in view of the guests is prohibited. If a guest is waiting on service, they will not appreciate watching employees socializing. Never chat in the dining room. Always try to say yes to a guest. If a guest makes a request, try to accommodate it. If you can't accommodate that specific request, tell the guest why you cannot and make another offer that might be suitable. Don't argue with a guest. If a guest is upset, listen to their complaint, apologize, and fix it right away. If the guest is very upset or you don't know how to fix the problem, get a manager to help. Great customer service is essential to keeping our restaurant going. If we make the entire dining experience wonderful for each guest, they will recommend us to their friends, and our restaurant will be successful. Ever wonder why, no matter what restaurant you go to, the experience is usually smooth and seamless? It's because, whether you've thought about it or not, the entire process is broken down into a series of steps. It doesn't matter what sort of food you're eating, how much you're paying, or where you live. The steps of service are all pretty much the same. Greet the table and get drinks, take the food order, deliver the food, check that the food came out correctly, pre-bus the table, and deliver the check. The first step is to greet the table. As you walk over to the table, quickly evaluate what kind of dining experience these guests are looking for. Are they a bunch of friends out on the town? Are they young parents with a fussy child? Did they just come from a funeral? Are they on a first date? Tailor your greeting to the situation. If they're having lots of fun, use a big smile and an enthusiastic greeting. If it looks like they're engaged in a serious business discussion, keep it short and simple. Just remember that no matter how rushed you feel, always slow down and take a moment to genuinely welcome the new guests. A smile will immediately let your table warm up to you and relax, knowing that you're going to be a great server. Next, bring drinks. Get drinks out as soon as possible. Drinks help your guests feel at home. The food order is next on the agenda, and the server will direct the ordering process. Imagine ordering as an intersection with a broken street light. You need to direct the traffic. Don't be shy. Ask to take a specific person's order by directing your question to them. Also, if the table looks like they might want to split the check, for example 2 couples or a group of friends, this is a good time to ask. Next, bring the food. Don't walk up to the table and ask, "Who had the roast chicken?" Instead, know what seat number the food is going to and say, "The roast chicken, no asparagus, miss." It's best to refill drinks and set out the condiments before the food comes out. So once you place the food on the table, they have everything they need and can start eating immediately. Don't forget to warn a guest if their plate is hot. A few minutes later, do a quick 2-minute 2-bite check back. Once they've had a chance to take a couple of bites, ask them how everything is going. This gives them an opportunity to perhaps ask for more mustard or point out something that's missing from their order. Failing to check back at the table after they have their food can ruin a guest's experience. So if you don't have time to immediately check back on them, ask a coworker to do so for you. This is also a great time to mention dessert. Say something like, "Our molten chocolate cake goes great with a cup of coffee after dinner." Be sure to ask about dessert before clearing the entree plates, because by then the guests may feel ready to leave. While your guests eat, it's time to start pre-bussing. Pre-bussing means cleaning the table while guests are still seated. You can clear trash like straw wrappers or unused glasses, side plates or smaller dishes from the table throughout the meal. But be careful. Clearing dirty entree plates too soon can make others at the table feel rushed and uncomfortable. Instead, wait until all the guests have finished eating or until they've requested to-go boxes. If you have more than 4 people at a table, ask an available coworker such as another server or busser to help you clear plates. The only thing that should be left after each course are any glasses still in use. Don't wait to be asked for the check. When the guests are finishing their dessert, set the check in a central place on the table unless someone has specifically asked for it. Tell them that you're setting it there for their convenience and to take their time. If they turn down dessert, go ahead and leave the check at that point. Thank your table sincerely and let them know you're looking forward to them coming back soon. We want all our customers to be repeat customers. Let them know if the restaurant is doing anything special in the near future, like hosting a wine tasting or releasing a new menu. Or if a nearby venue will be hosting an event, let them know about it and encourage them to drop by the restaurant while they're in the area. Knowing what's going on in and around your restaurant is a great way to get customers coming back for more. Imagine 2 stores. Both sell pie, but only one puts a sign out front. Which one do you think sells more pie? Now, think about 2 servers. They both work in the same restaurant with delicious pie, but only one lets guests know that pie is available. Which server sells more pie? Think about a great dining experience that you've had. It probably included appetizers, a special drink, or a dessert. People enjoy themselves more if they have a glass of wine with dinner or a dessert at the end of the meal. Suggesting add-ons benefits the customer and the servers. Guests enjoy themselves more when they've had a well-rounded and satisfying meal, and servers make more money when their sales are higher. There are 2 rules of thumb for successfully selling food to guests: suggesting and describing. Suggest items 3 times to every table, during the beverage order, the entree order, and the dessert order. When you take a drink order, never say, "What would you like to drink?" Instead, ask, "Would you like a cold glass of lemonade or iced tea?" Suggest specific items. When someone orders an entree, ask if they'd like to start with a fresh Caesar salad. While people are still eating their entree, tell them about the featured dessert of house-made bread pudding topped with rich buttery rum sauce. Sides and additions are great extras to suggest to your guests. Be familiar with what additions would accentuate each meal. Ask, would you like to add freshly sautéed mushrooms to your steak? Crispy grilled chicken on the Greek salad? Avocado on the BLT? Always use the word add so that when the bill comes, the guest doesn't feel like you tricked them into an upsell. Your goal should be at least 1 upsell per table. 2 or 3 upsells per table will be even better for you in the restaurant. Remember that restaurant profit margins are between 3 and 6%. Every extra sale makes a positive impact. Understandably, some servers feel apprehensive about upselling, as though they are pushing stuff onto their guests. Don't push. Just suggest items that you genuinely think they should try. Let your guests decide for themselves what they can afford. Studies show that guests are actually happier with their dining experience if the server suggests menu items that he or she genuinely likes. Like telling someone a secret, it makes people feel special. The second secret to upselling is to describe. Paint a picture for your guests. Use words like crispy, juicy, spicy, fresh, house-made, famous, ice-cold, and refreshing. Suggest they try the crispy potato skins, a house favorite. Give the guest an idea of just how delicious that menu item is. Another way to describe an item is to share an interesting fact about it. Is it a local product? Does each cork feature a different quote from the Buddha? Is that the bartender's favorite drink to mix? Tidbits of information will paint a picture in the minds of your guests. Remember a time that you were out to dinner and a friend told you, "Hey, you have to try the bananas Foster here." Your friend had a good point, right? Do the same for your guests. Pick the items that you really like and let your tables know how delicious they are. Use your inside knowledge. If there's a rich raspberry cheesecake waiting to be eaten, let your guests know. Suggest and describe items to every table. Upselling is a win-win-win. The guests feel cared for, the restaurant earns more per customer, and you earn more tips. Remember to suggest and describe to every person, every table, every time. Being efficient at your job will make you and your tables happy. Waiting tables can be very fast-paced and exciting, but if you're not efficient, it can quickly become overwhelming. Here are 4 ideas for becoming a more efficient server. 1. Set up for success. Even if you have no tables, you should still be working just as hard as if you had a full section. Check your section. Is the table rocking? That's easier to check now rather than when you have people at the table. Are all the condiments, sugars, and water pitchers full and ready to go? Do you have any other side work to do? Is the ice stocked? The glassware stocked? Are the napkins and silverware ready to go? Being overly prepared for the rush will help your shift go smoothly. 2. Treat all your tables like one big table. This is also called doing a 360. Look around at your entire section. If a guest asks for a drink refill, don't run and get it until you've looked at everyone else's drinks on that table and your other tables. That way, if 4 people need drinks in your section, you still only have to make one trip to the kitchen. 3. Never walk around empty-handed. Restaurants are all about moving things. Things get moved from the kitchen to the dining room, from the dining room to the dish pit, and from the dish pit to the kitchen, where the restaurant's circle of life begins again. Look around you and figure out what you can move. 4. Assist other servers. This is not going to help you be efficient now, but down the line that server whose section you gave drink refills to will remember and happily help you catch up with your tables. Practice being efficient and your shifts will be much easier. Welcome to our restaurant. Let's cover a few tricks of the trade that distinguish excellent waiters from average waiters. Excellent waiters think of their section of tables as their own business. They are tour guides, helping the guests find their way from the appetizer all the way to dessert. Create an atmosphere of hospitality by always putting yourself in the guest's shoes. Treating your section like your own business means having superior knowledge of the menu. Take a copy of the menu home and study it. Memorize which sides are available, which beers are on tap, and the prices of extras like avocado. Knowing exactly what you're selling will help your tables trust you and will make your shift easier. Still, if a guest asks you a question and you don't know the answer, don't make something up. It's perfectly okay to say, "Let me ask," especially when it comes to potential allergens or whether a dish contains animal products. Don't make assumptions about these things. If someone has an allergy, be sure to tell the manager. Learn to read your guests' body language. Are they in a hurry, or are they sitting down to a romantic meal? Are they looking around as if they need something? The best waiters learn to read body language in order to anticipate needs. Are they squeezing the last bit of lemon juice out of a lemon wedge? Bring out a few more wedges. Learning to watch people and anticipate what they need is a great skill for a waiter. If a table has young children, serve them first. Set down kids' drinks before the adults and ask parents if they'd like kids' meals to arrive first, since kids' meals usually take less time to make. This gives the parents a chance to feed the kids and then concentrate on their own meal. Most complaints about a guest's experience tend to be service-related and not food-related. The most frequent restaurant complaints are about the time it takes to be greeted by their server or the time it takes to pay. Always greet a table within 2 minutes of seating. If you can't get to the table right away, ask a host, busser, or another server to take a drink order for you. Also, print the bill out immediately after ringing up the guest's order. Don't wait until the guest is ready to leave to print out the bill. If the guest ends up adding drinks or dessert to the tab later, no problem, just reprint the bill. Don't place the check down without first asking if they would like dessert. If a problem arises, don't blame the kitchen. Even if the kitchen is to blame, the restaurant works as a team and you should apologize on behalf of the restaurant. The guest will want someone to take responsibility, and blaming a poorly cooked steak on the new guy in the kitchen makes the whole restaurant look bad. Simply apologize and fix the problem. If a guest compliments the food, let the chef know. They love hearing about this. Also, compliment other servers, hosts, and bussers on a job well done. Recognizing other team member contributions creates a positive work environment. Stand with confidence next to the table. When taking an order, stand across from that person. Don't make the guest crane their necks if you can help it. Don't kneel or sit down next to the guest, as this will make them uncomfortable. And never touch a guest, because even a slight pat on the shoulder will make some people uncomfortable. When boxing up food in a to-go container, arrange the food nicely. Write the restaurant name, the type of food, and the date on the box. Be ready for the question, what's good? Everything is not a helpful answer. Enthusiastically name and describe a few different entrees from the menu. If a guest complains, take it as an opportunity to shine. If you fix the problem quickly, the guest will appreciate your hospitality and will likely recommend your restaurant to friends, despite the complaint. Don't disappear from the dining room. If the food is taking more than 15 minutes, check for it in the kitchen, then let your tables know that you checked, and give them an accurate estimate of when it will be ready. Think about a delay you've experienced on a train or airplane. Not knowing how long you will be delayed is worse than the delay itself. Once the conductor or captain comes on and tells you the delay will last 10 minutes, you instantly feel better. When dropping off the check, address the guest by name, as in, "Thank you, Mr. Phillips, for your business." And just because a guest has paid doesn't mean you should stop waiting on them. Continue to refill drinks and attend to their needs. Learn from other servers. Watch the best servers, figure out why they're the best, and follow their lead. Are they efficient, courteous to customers, aware of guest body language? Always come to work looking and feeling your best, and you'll have a great shift. When your clothes are crisp and ironed, hair neat, and stomach full, you'll be in a better mood and do your best work. When you feel good, you have more confidence and it shows. Always arrive to work with a full stomach, because working around food when you're hungry is difficult. Also, bring a snack to work. Eating a snack on your break will help you keep your energy high. Always arrive to work with $20 in smaller bills and a handful of coins to make change for your guests. Also, be sure to carry a wine key, 5 pens, and a notepad for taking orders. Longer hair should be pulled back, and earrings should not be bigger than the size of a quarter. You must wear shoes that are designated non-slip. This doesn't mean just any shoe with tread. The label should specifically read non-slip. Saying things in a pleasing way will avoid conflict with guests. Here are some examples of the right and wrong way to say things. Instead of saying, "We ran out of bacon," say, "We sold out of that item, but we could substitute turkey for no extra charge." Instead of saying, "Would you like change?" say, "I'll be right back with your change." Instead of, "How are we tonight?" say, "How are you tonight?" Say things that are positive and upbeat. We hired you because we know that you'll offer excellent customer service to our guests. The best way to keep our restaurant busy is through positive word of mouth. If we all work as a team to make our guests happy, we will be successful. Have a great shift. Restaurants run on teamwork. Think about how impossible it would be to run a restaurant on your own. You'd have to seat the guest, take the order, cook the food, and clean the table. That's why restaurants rely on their employees to work together. But what does it mean to have great teamwork in our restaurant? Here's the two-part answer. First, ask your coworkers if they need assistance. And second, ask for assistance when you need it. If you see a coworker in a hurry and you happen to have an extra minute, go ahead and ask them what you can do to help. You can assist any front-of-house or back-of-house employee. Or, if you see a good way to help a busy coworker, go ahead and lend a hand without being asked. Perhaps you can refill drinks in their section. Maybe there's a table that could be reset. Maybe there are people at the door who need to be sat. Always be on the lookout for ways to help your coworkers. If you find yourself falling behind, don't be shy to ask someone for assistance. It's better to ask for help when you start falling behind so that you can catch up easily, rather than waiting until you are really behind. If you are always ready to lend a hand to a coworker, they will remember that and return the favor. A good restaurant employee is always asking coworkers, "Need anything?" Start asking that question, and you'll be amazed by how much faster and more efficient work flows at a restaurant.